Yo, what up guys, Brief here. I'm excited to bring you this champion guide for an epic champion who is currently the rave in Raid Shadow Legends, or one of the raves because of the new content that was just dropped. He's from the High Elves faction and is one that has been lost and forgotten for a while until recently when this new dungeon opened up. I'm talking about the Sand Devils Necropolis. So that's the champion right there, Thenasil. He's a old champion that has been in Raid for a long time. But as they release new champions who have similar skills or even better skills like he does, a lot of people seem to have forgotten about him. The first time you come across this champion is in campaign 6 to be precise, when you first of all reach that stage of the High Elves faction and when he does a lot of healing in those waves. I'm talking about this particular Palace of Aravia. So that's when you encounter him the first time with an apothecary right there in the first team, and he's just doing a lot of healing for the team, and you're like, who is this person healing this entire team when you're trying to kill them? That's this guy right there. That's when I first saw him in the game. So when I finally get him on my account, I've already gotten Apothecary, I already gotten Sealed Drake. So I'm saying a lot of people do not use this champion for his sole purpose in your team is to heal. A lot of people do not use him because they do have other options. But right now in Sand Devil, this is what he brings to the team right there. Not just the heals, but the A1 sleep. I'll tell you why his heal is also different or even better than other champions who do healing. On this A1 sleep is right there. If you book this champion up with epic books, which I think is worth it if you want him for this Sand Devil Necropolis, you must book it so that you get all these extra chances of placing that sleep. It will be booked up to a 50% chance of placing sleep rather than a 15% chance, which is a good chance of placing sleep if you ask me. So an A1 that places sleep means he will always be using it whenever his A2 or A3 is on cooldown. Nice. Now on the A2 right there, this champion, this is the healing ability, the one that a lot of people will also need him for the Sand Devil, mostly because this heals all allies based on his max HP. Now that's what's special about this champion, because he's not healing the champions based on their max HP. Their HP might not be that high, but when you build this champion with high HP and he's healing 25% of his HP, he usually takes all those your allies to full HP. That's what is so awesome about this champion. So besides the A1 sleep, this is the main skill that a lot of people are using this champion for, because in the Sand Devil, when the boss goes to sleep, that is your opportunity to heal all your destroyed max HP back, just to recover all your destroyed max HP. This is the skill that makes that happen. So usually his destroyed max HP might not be that much, hopefully, because he's not doing any turn meter or any stuff to the boss that will decrease his max HP by a lot. So 25% of his decreased max HP will still be a lot of healing for your entire team. Of course, this has to happen when the boss is asleep. There's still some bugs with that boss, I guess. We'll test it in battle, we'll see when this goes off. Now, if you want him to save this skill for when the boss is asleep, unfortunately, you have to use it on manual. Because if you leave these battles on auto, you have to speed tune it to know exactly when the boss will go to sleep, and then he uses skill to restore your destroyed max HP. So that's what he's going to be doing in our teams, and I'll show you in that content. Now, for in general dungeon content, like a dragon or other dungeons, he will heal this skill at any time. You don't have to put anybody to sleep to heal, and that's what is awesome about him. Of course, the more books you put into this skill, and it will be on a 3-turn cooldown, and more healing will come across your way. So that's the main two things is there for what in our team for. So what about the A3? What's special about it? He attacks all enemies, decreases duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn. This is a skill that is useful for dungeons. Remember, Apothecary and some other champions do buff the enemy teams when you're going towards the waves, right? This is a skill that is used for dungeons, but it's not useful anywhere else. I can't see it being useful anywhere else. Of course, decreased duration of all enemies is useful for clan boss, uses for Hydra, but this is not the best champion for that particular skill. Why? Because that's on a 5-turn cooldown when you book it. Usually you want this skill to be on a 3 or 4-turn cooldown if you're going to use a champion that does this in battle. So this skill it needs a buff. This A3 needs a buff. So we are totally going to be locking down this A3 in the Sand Devil Necropolis so he never uses it, right? The boss doesn't buff himself or anything. So we want him to be using his A1 when his A2 is down. Either you're sleeping the boss or you're healing our team. That's what we're going to set him for the Sand Devil. Alright, for general dungeon content, you want to allow this to be unlocked, maybe to do some damage. This champion does damage? I guess not, because if you're going to be building a champion with support he's a support role right there. You don't want them to be building high crit rate, high crit damage. No, you want them to be built for what is there for this healing right there. Means put his HP as high as possible. Forget about crit rate, forget about crit damage. Which brings us to my champion build right there. What artifact set you might want to use on this champion? Well, I will not lie to you, this champion has been chilling in my vault for a long time, and he just came out of the vault because of the Sun Devil, right? I already said that. But the best one, since I'm an end game player, this will be looking like an end game build for this champion. End game build right there. End game build. Now, people who are just coming into the game 3 months, even my noob to pro could go to the Fire Knight 20 and get this gear. It might not be as good, but you still be able to get this gear set. If you're beginning to do brutal or nightmare clan boss, you're beginning to get this immortal set also. So that's the best 2 sets that are good for this champion for the Sun Devil. Now, if you do not have this regeneration set, right? Regen sets for the Fire Knight, you've not started beating higher levels of the Fire Knight, you can put this champion in 3 sets of this immortal set. 3 sets of immortal works, because that's also going to be giving healing. Remember, immortal gives you 15% HP. What does this champion need? HP. So he can do heals based on his max HP. So that's what immortal sets right there does for you. 3-piece set of immortal is perfect for this champion. And then, of course, for end game build, everybody who is going to the Sun Devil will always want to put this champion in this regeneration set, because you don't want to be relying on heals. He wants him to be the champion doing the heals, so he should be self-sustaining. That's what I'm saying. Will this champion be useful for the clan boss or somewhere else where you want to put him in lifesteal? Nah. So these are the only 2 sets I would recommend for this video. It's either you're putting this champion in immortal or you're putting this champion in regeneration set. That's all. Now, any other sets that will do similar thing like immortal does, like add HP to a champion, of course you can put it on them. Can I think of anyone right now? Resilience had HP and defense, right? That's a similar one that will make a champion tanky, but it doesn't bring any heals along with him. So if you're not going to be using him for Sun Devil, you could build him in resilience. Stalwart set is always awesome for keeping tanks alive. And let me see any other. Is a good champion for shield sets. If you're going to be running this champion in PvP content, I'm talking about early gold 1 or silver, shield set is always awesome to catch your enemies off guard, and when he heals based on his HP is also going to be higher, because shield sets are usually high HP builds. So that's the set I think I can recommend for you guys. Some people put him in high resistance so he can just do a lot of healing and be annoying. So which other sets? I don't think. Immortal and regeneration set for end game builds. If you're new to raid, you just got this champion a month, you're just a month or 2 into raid, put him in 3-piece sets. You know, those beginner players like Apothecary who needs to go fast, right, and do their heals, they can be in a 3-piece speed set. It's totally fine right there. So that's for a newer player who just got this champion and you don't have any immortal sets. He's not even started farming brutal. Give him 3-piece speed set. You're totally fine. So that's the recommended gear artifact set for him. And remember, you're trying to look for what? HP, more HP. Why is this defense? Well, it's defense because it has 17% HP right there. And even in the banner, you might want to go HP. But I needed him for accuracy because of the Sun Devil. That's why I put this banner on him of accuracy. Normally, if you're going to be using him other content, dungeon content, PvP content, you don't even need this accuracy on that A1. You don't need that 15% sleep or the 50% sleep. You're more waiting for that high heals HP right there. If you can get the accuracy in your substat, it's better to put a HP right here. Of course, you want to go speed boost so he can be fast. This is a champion that should not be slow. You don't want him waiting there. Everybody is going down, dying, and he's just there sitting, waiting for his turn. You want him to be really, really fast in your team so he can get around to his abilities and do it again and again. Some people will say even put him in relentless set if you're going to be using him in content like the Hydra or something, but I won't be using this champion for that content because he's just there for heals, and we have people who do heals and something else. We need people who do something else than just heals. So that's the gear set that I put on him. Now for masteries, I'll switch over to Raid Bro because this is all the masteries I have on me right now. Sun Devil is not a content that will make me go start farming masteries for champions. Remember, I'm running on limited resources, but I'll show you the full masteries that I would do if I have the energy to run full masteries on him. The main basic one that you saw me select is the first 3 masteries, right? The first one that add extra HP for him because I want him to be more tanky. This one that increases the value of the heals that he casts by 5%, awesome. And of course, this third one that also increase the amount of healing, the value of shield, but if my allies are low, 40% HP or less. Those are the 3 important masteries for healer builds. And if you can choose to come down here because of Sun Devil Necropolis, this one adds even more HP. Remember, we are not trying to get turn meter boosting and all that. Normally you want to go healers and boosters go this way, but because of Sun Devil, we want to be speed tuned, right? We don't want to have this mastery that will just make our tune anyhow. So that's why people go this way now instead of, because of Sun Devil, everybody's adding more HP to their healing. And for offense 3, if you're going to be using this champion for general content, I've seen some people go offense 3 and select, of course, the War Master Mastery. That is not needed for the Sun Devil Necropolis because this champion will add extra hits to the boss when he's asleep, and you don't want War Master Mastery in that boss. So if you're going to be building for general content, general dungeons, you might want to go War Master Mastery. But I am not going to be using him for any dungeon content besides this one that I'm going to be showing you right now. Of course, defense 3 is always good to reduce the damage he takes, be a little bit more tanky. And this one is what is also popular in Sun Devil, that heals whenever the boss does his own healing, if you don't have a heal reduction on that boss anyways. So of course you want to have a little bit of counter attack right here to have a chance of landing that A1 more frequently. This is not needed at all. You might also want to go this way. So that's how I put mastery on this champion, mostly because of Sun Devil. If you want to use any other masteries, check out Hade's website for alternative way of building this champion or putting his masteries. Alright, that's all I'm going to be selecting for now. This is all the masteries I need for this champion. I don't think I'll ever be maxing it out, except I decide to take the Sun Devil to higher difficulty, like the higher level 15, 20 stages or so. That's when I'll go and farm the rest of the masteries. For now, this is all I needed. Alright, now that I've talked about his build, his masteries, and talked about his skills, it's time for us to take him into some content and test him out so you can see him live in action. Now, the first content that I'm going to be showing you so we can actually see the amount of healing he's doing is a easy content, easy battle out. First of all, running him in Dragon 20, so we can see him live in action to see what he's bringing to the team. I've already put together a liability team. That's how I always want to call it. A team that I know will take a lot of damage because there is no real damage mitigation right there coming in, and he is the only healer I have right here. I've turned off Apothecary's heal, so he's not going to be healing. Of course, Seal the Drake, I've also turned off her stun, so she's not going to be controlling the waves. We want them to hit us so we can see if he can actually keep a team alive. I did not show you his total stats. After the run, I'll show you the total stats because I'm really impressed with this build. When you focus on one stat on a champion, you just get a good champion. I'm talking about, what did I focus on? High HP and speed. Well, that's 2 stats. I'll put this in slow speed so we don't run too fast. And see, the Drake goes in with that A1. Like I said, I turned off her stun. He goes in with his A1 too. I didn't want him to start with his heal or his increased defense. I made him start with his A1. Come on, let's take some damage. See, the Drake is doing 5k heals. He just wasted the heals. Is that 25k heals I just saw? He just wasted the heals. Well, that will happen. Clearly nobody needed to be healed, but he decided to use it. Damn. These champions need to be set better. I guess I could have set him to use his A3 as priority so that the heal can then come in after the A3 has been used. That's also an option you can set in your presets. Now we are beginning to take damage. There is no heal available. Well, see, the Drake can help us with our 5k heals. But I want to see that heal again in battle. I want to see it happen again. He just decreased their buff by 1 turn. Do you see that A3 came in clutch right there? Do we have to wait an entire 3 turns before he does this heal again? I want to see that heal coming. He just used this A1 again. So this entire battle right now, we are not in any danger because we have two healers, I guess, Seal the Drake and him. I shouldn't have brought in Seal the Drake, so we can actually go low. That's the heal right there, 24k, 25k. That's somebody's almost half of their HP will just be full. So that's all I wanted to show, the amount of healing this champion can bring to a team. That's like a crit heal for Apothecary, and Seal the Drake is doing 5k heals, more consistent, I guess, than his own, but 25k heals is crazy amount of healing. It looks like a slow run because I didn't bring actually any damage right here. I just wanted us to take damage and see how much healing we can do. But it seems like this champion can keep your entire team alive. 25k heals again. I thought he just used this just now. Crazy amount of healing going on right here for this champion. Of course, he is in his what do you call this, immortal and regeneration set, so he doesn't need any healing from anybody. He has been topped off this entire battle. See, he's doing his own 25k heals because of all the bonus heals that is coming in from those masteries we selected. All right, it's not just coming from the artifact sets now, it's also coming in from the masteries we selected, and not just from his skills. The masteries also boost that healing by a great deal. So if you don't have those 3 masteries on him, your heal might not be this much. I'm waiting for one more time to see the healing again. Let me put it on slow speed when he's about to take his own turn. One more chance to see the healing before we take him to the Sand Devil to see if we can survive and keep our team alive right there. Come on, one more time to do the healing. An epic champion that heals so much. That's it. 25k, 24k, 25,750, I think, in some instances. All right, I'll end the dragon run. There's no need to run it all the way to the end. I just wanted to show him live in action how much heals he can bring to your team. Increased defense is also important. That's something I forgot to mention that can actually help you take less damage. Now, for the main event, what I built him for is the Sand Devil Necropolis, and a lot of people will bring him out of the vault because he might be your only champion that has heals based on his max HP. If you don't have people like this other Skytouch Shaman and others to help you with the heals. Stage 11 seems to be the one that everybody has agreed that is the best for newer players. Of course, stage 7 is early game. It's too easy for us to beat stage 7, so we're gonna go a little bit higher content where we can actually take a little bit of more damage and see if he can help us stay alive. I'll be bringing in what's his name, Ninja, and this champion that will decrease his own max HP by a lot, and see if he can help us stay alive. I'm putting in this champion in the leader slot so she can bring herself back to life if she goes down. I don't want her bringing anybody back to life with her passive, if it's even available. So I run stage 11 right now. Even if it's negative affinity, I brought in a champion, a rare champion that who can do the sleep. He's not there for the sleep, but he can be a supporting champion that helps with the sleep. All right, that's the champion that is here for the sleep. Remember, this champion can be farmed from the campaign, and he just used his A1. See, he just decreased his max HP maximum. Now let me put it on manual. Let's see what's gonna happen. I want to see the heal. Slow speed right here. The boss is asleep. We're gonna wake him up, but no problem. I just want to see him do this big heal for this champion that just decreased his max HP by too much. He put himself back to sleep. Awesome. All right, check out Geomancer now. Are we gonna wake up this boss? Let's do some damage. Stage 11 is easy. Now this is what I wanted to see. A2 heal. The boss is asleep, but Geomancer's max HP did not increase or restore because there's a bug on this boss. Yes, normally when this boss is asleep, that is time for you to do your healing, and Geomancer's max HP is supposed to, or destroyed max HP is supposed to be restored because the boss is asleep, but it's not happening. But hey, but at least you know what he does to your team. But anybody else that had their max HP destroyed, he would have done it for them. Geomancer, I don't think maybe he's the only one that is bugged for this boss. I don't know. But anyways, he did put increased defense on us, and I'll put it on auto and see if this run will be successful without me intervening all the time. But if you set your preset for him to open it with his A1, Geomancer just did decrease the boss max HP again. Good time for Ninja to go in for another nuke, maybe. He's weak affinity in this boss, so he'll be doing a lot of weak hits, but you can't even put the boss to sleep that time. Let me put it on double speed. Let's go a little bit faster. That's a lot of damage because this is just stage 11. He almost put the boss to sleep. Weak hits there. Let's see. I'm waiting for that heal. We have some of our max HP destroyed right now. If he heals right now, it will not work. The boss is asleep, so if he can heal right now, it will work. Let's see if we can restore our max HP. Did not work. This bug needs to be fixed, but sometimes it does work. I thought it's when the boss is asleep you can restore your destroyed max HP, but apparently this bug is crazy. There are some champions who do it very well though. Once the boss is asleep, you can have your max HP restored. Bring back my Geomancer. Let's have that burn on the boss. Sleep. Nope. Resisted. So stage 11 is content that I'll be farming for this entire anytime a mission required me to do this boss, and he comes in there as your healer and somebody who can actually restore your max HP based on his max HP that has not yet been destroyed. Damn, that's a lot of damage. The boss is asleep. Can he do a lot of any healing for us? Let's see. Yes, that's what I was talking about. You see, everybody got their max HP restored. Geomancer is still bugged, sitting right there with his max HP not restored. This bug needs to be fixed, but that is what it does. Totally restored our max HP back to full, as if we've not had any of them destroyed by the boss. Awesome content right there that this champion will bring to your team. Now, even if obviously this champion is here for revive, but he's the only source of main good healing in this team right here. Nobody else right here is in lifesteal or anything. He's just keeping us top the entire battle. It's not every turn that his heal is available, but when it's available, it's a big one that brings you back to full health. And I think he used it at the right time right there when the boss just did a big hit on us. I did not do any revive on dead champion right here, but you could bring in a revive on dead champion in case, just in case you need that. For this stage, I don't need a revive on dead champion. That's why I didn't bring it. But for higher stages, you need to bring a revive on dead champion. All right, that's the two content I'm going to be showing you this champion in. If you want to take this champion into the PvP content, into the Hydra, you're free to test this champion in more content that like you want. But this is the only content. I brought him out of the vault just to use him for this content. And maybe along the way, I'll be showing you other champions. I also built their champion guide just for this boss. Successful. So that's stage 11 that I'll be farming just because of that's the lower level of the oil is what I need right now. I don't need to be building champions for the higher level. Let me head over to the champion again and show you his total stats, because that's something I forgot to show you right there. And his total stats, if I sort by recently used first, that's him right here, and his total stats is 78k HP. That's why he's doing 25% of that, almost 100k if you add all the other bonuses from the masteries. That's why he was doing so much healing right there. 3k defense in case when the boss does his normal hits, so he cannot be killed easily. 217 speed is fast enough for this boss. This boss at level 11 is about 200 speed, right? So 217 is faster than the boss. That's always a good thing, I guess. And of course, no crit rate, no crit damage at all. Accuracy 308, because I wanted him to land his A1 sleep sometimes. It's not absolutely required. You can rely on your sleep champion, who is that rare champion you can farm from the campaign. I'll be doing a champion guide about that champion soon. So that's Thenasil, the new champion or old champion that was recently appreciated just because of this new dungeon boss, based on his ability to heal your entire team based on his max HP, not the team's max HP, which is not very good way of healing, at least for this boss. I showed him in dungeon content. I've showed him in clan boss, dragon content, also in this new Sand Devil content. Let me know any other content you want me to show this champion in, or where you use him, or where you appreciate him. For now, I'm just going to be appreciating him only for the Sand Devil. Endgame build right there, beginner players. Hopefully you learn something from this one also. If you cannot farm stage 11, you can farm stage 7 of that boss. Only when a mission requires you to do so, that's not a dungeon that you want to consistently farm with free energy. You're better off farming other content. But that's not what we are here to talk about. I just wanted to highlight Thenasil today because I finally built him and use him for that content. We can use one-man team, we can use two-man teams, but I prefer a full-man team to fund dungeon content like that, so it can be 100% and fully auto all the time. Alright guys, hit that like button for me in this video if this helps you, if you found it interesting or entertaining at least. And yeah, I do champion guides like this, so make sure you're subscribed. I also post daily Raid Shadow Legends content. Later guys.